Hi and welcome back to Route 7 Railway. Here's another loco from the bottom drawer. It's an old Lima Deltic, the Royal Scots Grey. Let's make this more fun and more usable on the layout by fitting directional lights. Hi and welcome back to another workbench session at Route 7 Railway. This is the next in a series of videos covering the upgrade of old locos. This is an old Lima Deltic. As you can see, it's 55022 Royal Scots Greys. You can pick these up quite cheap on eBay. They're nothing special. It was never fitted with lights. It's got no fancy electronics. Very similar to the loco I've done in the previous video. This one is in reasonable condition. It's got a little bit some dirt marks there, but nothing to worry about. It was a non-runner when I got it, but I serviced it and got it up and running. If you look at the end, it's not got any lenses, it's just got plastic mouldings. And they're raised plastic mouldings, so I'm going to have to sand them down in order to be able to create a flat surface in order to be able to drill the relevant size hole. So first part is to get the body off this. As you can see, it's quite old, a bit of a rusty weight there. Nothing inside, just a pickup wire going to the motor from the rear bogie. So very simple indeed, which makes the light fitting easy. So I can put this to one side and we're looking at this body. And this is very simple. It's all brightly coloured inside, which I'm going to paint now to prevent light bleed or help prevent light bleed. So we take the glazing bar out. I've seen better days. Might just give that a wipe. So it's time to file the moulding for the lights back and then start the drilling process. So next time you see this, I'll have drilled the holes. Okay, here's the holes drilled out for the LEDs. I think you can see in there. Okay, so the next bit is paint the inside of the loco. So let's crack on with that and I'll show you that next. I've painted the inside. It's still drying. That's the second coat drying. So that's that done. I've also painted the lights. I hope you can see them. I've made sure not to get any paint on the end, if you like, the lens part of the light. Even though they've had two coats, there will be still some light bleed and they'll need touching up even more, or touching up once I've fitted them into the body. So let's get on with the next part, which will be actually gluing in the lights. These are the lights, as you may have seen before, and they're going to be fitted in like so. Should be able to see that. I'll zoom in if I can. So they'll be glued in like so. Right now, but the problem was I did a bit of research and I couldn't find a picture of a Royal Scots Grey Deltic with white and red lights interchangeable at the front. I saw a picture of an Acura scale in like an old BR colour. With white lights to the front in the pairs along with the red, but it wasn't this particular model. The ones that I've found where they had red lights when it's at the rear, and when it's showing the front there's a single white light here where I've now drilled this hole. You can see that. So what I'm doing is I'm changing the plan and putting, these are bicolour red and white and I can't use them. I'm going to put a single white light in there and single red lights in there, single colour red lights in there. And here they are, painted up. As I've just show you now what I've already done, the 3 lights in the front, and I've soldered of the red ones, I've soldered the 2 positives together and the 2 negatives together to give me red light in one direction. Then with the white light, I've soldered it in reverse. So if you like, I've soldered the negative terminal to the positives and the positive terminal to the negatives. Alright, it's looking a bit rough. I'll zoom in on this again. They're just pushed in now, the 2 reds and the white. The wires are looking a bit untidy, but when they go off and they go hard, I'll solder them together like so. Okay, what I've done, I've tinned that terminal, and I've tinned this terminal picking up from the rear bogie. And all I'm going to do now is, with our little wiring looms, I'm going to attach one to that terminal and one to that terminal. So in effect, I'm attaching it there, but it just really means I've got one less wire on the actual turning bogie. So one to there, one to there. So let's get on with that. Just turn that so you can see it. This is my brilliant little soldering iron. This has been on charge, so it's a USB charger. Just screw that in like that, like so, charge it up, and then the little soldering bit goes in the end. And this only works for short spells. You just press it, and while you do each soldering joint, you don't leave it on all the time. And that's how it saves itself battery time. That's on. Okay, that's that done. So now we've got our wiring set up. Twin black and red from one terminal, and the equivalent of black and red from the other. I've left the wires long for accessing the future when taking the body off. Right, I'm just going to turn the lights out now to show you some of the light bleed that still can happen with handling, etc. on these lights. Right, see in there, we've got light bleed on the white and light bleed on the red. Now what I'll do, I'll show you the other end lit up. Okay, this is the other end. And we've got white. As you can see, we've got white showing. We've got white there, but no light bleed inside. And we've got red showing and no light bleed in there. I'll touch this end up now and then we can move on. What I'm going to do now is show you on a bit of a mock-up how the lights work at each end. Some of you, this is old news to some of you, but some of you are not sure about what I was talking about before. This might explain it. So I'll just set it up. Imagine, if you will, this is one end of the loco. And these are the 2 red lights that are fitted. Just connect these up. So these are the 2 red lights on the loco. Power goes one way, they light up. Power goes the other way, they don't. That's the classic LED setup. Power one way, they light up. Power the other way, they don't. Now, to make the white work, right, I've just connected that light up. And what's happened is that's lit up with the reds, and that's not what we want. So this is how you find out which way to connect the light up. So the reds should be on and the white should be off. So that means it's the wrong way. So if I turn that white light round, now when I throw the switch, the power will go off for the reds and the white light should come on. There we go. And that's how it works at each end. Positives and the positives are connected together with the reds, the negatives are connected together with the reds, and the white light is connected by putting the negative of the white light to the positive of the red, and the positive of the white to the negative of the red, and that gives you the opposing setup. And that's how the lights work in this. These are all connected up now, ready to go. And what we need is a black from this end to go with a red from the other. Let's move them over there. Let's put them together, and the red and the black from opposite ends over here. Just keep them together for now. So what we need to do now is work out a direction of travel for our loco and which way the power is set. Okay, what I've done, I've tinned the ends of the wires, ready to solder on. This is set to go forward in that direction, so I want the lights in the body on this end. I want it to show the single light white. So we'll just test that. Right, it's showing white. So black to the top one, red to the bottom. I'll touch that black one on there and the red at the bottom. Right, that's showing white light going that way. And that's the way the train is set, or the loco is set at the moment. The beauty about this little soldering iron and getting nooks and crannies everywhere. Okay, so that's the wiring all in. It looks a bit of a dog's breakfast, but what we'll do, we'll tidy it all that up now. I've got loads of these little cable ties and they need to be used up. In fact, I've got hundreds of the damn things. Okay, so where are we now? I've painted up the weight. It was a bit nasty or rusty, so let that go off. I've put strips of black tack down to stick the wires down. I've covered the wires in tape. It's not particularly pretty, but it's actually doing the job. It'll do the job quite well, insulating those wires from one another. The glazing bar is back in. So it's just a question of putting the body on and running the old girl. Okay, she's on the track. Just make sure she'll run. Excellent. There we go. Single white light to the front. And there's the reds. And then lovely. Okay, so that's another old loco upgraded with lights, and this will make it more usable on the layout and more fun. Next will be a little run on the layouts with some wagons, and I hope to see you next time at a Route 7 bench session. Bye now.